Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Montana Farm Bureau Field Notes podcast. My name is Haley Droogsma. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the digital communications lead here at the Montana Farm Bureau Federation. Before we get into our exciting YF&R feature today, I'd like to remind you that if you have anything you'd like to learn about, a pertinent news story, or someone you'd want to see us bring on the podcast, whether that's yourself or someone you know, please shoot me an email at haleyd@mfbf.org. That's HALEYD@mfbf.org. My goal is always to bring you interesting, exciting content about agriculture, and I'd love your recommendations. Now let's get into today's episode where I got to sit down with my co-host, Nick Courville, his wife, Randy, and our guest, Ty Young of Ravalli County Farm Bureau.
All right, we're here with Ty Young, Haley, and my wife, Randy. We're going to hit Ty up with some questions, figure out a little bit about his background, maybe dive into what drives him to be in Farm Bureau and be a really productive member for us. So just to get started, tell us a little about you, like in Montana, how long you've been here, and then we'll dive into some other history about you later.
Awesome. Yeah, so my name is Ty Young. I'm currently out of Missoula, Montana. I've been here for about 3 years now and have absolutely fallen in love with this place and the people of it.
What brought you here 3 years ago?
So it was honestly a little bit by chance. So I was currently working in New York during COVID as a trader at a hedge fund, and then I lost my job and had to move back home, and it was a little hard at first, just going from trying to work the Wall Street life to having to start over a little bit, moving back to Georgia, and I had an offer to go to a hedge fund out in Texas. And then I got that offer and decided, it might be an opportunity to go look into Montana. I'd visited here once before up in Glacier and fell in love with the people here. And so what I did was bought a plane ticket into Bozeman and then drove over to Missoula and just really fell in love with it. Actually, the first time I saw real snow was actually flying up here and just thought it was such an incredible place. And that's how I ended up finding a small town out west.
Nice. So did you lose your job because you recommended someone buy GameStop 3 years ago?
No, we were trading that, though. We were the suits, the bad guys. But no, I was unvaccinated, and so I lost my job. My family's just like Christian, and we just made a personal choice. So had to move back, and it was a year of just trying to figure it out. And I just remember how much I loved it up here. Me and my brother, we did a road trip from Georgia up to Edmonton, Canada, down to San Diego and back, and at all the states, this was my favorite. And so when that happened, it was kind of like a restart. And so I was like, you know what? Next place I go, I'm going to go where I want to, and I chose here. And
yeah, that's awesome. So can you describe to us, prior to that, like Georgia's home, what kind of egg background do you have in Georgia? Like what got you started in the egg stuff?
Yeah, so my dad, he is a sod farm down in the low country out in South Carolina. Then both my grandparents were just hobby farmers, and they were very involved with the Georgia Farm Bureau. So I've been involved with the Georgia Farm Bureau since I was a kid. My grandma, she's got a picture up in her house of back some year in the 50s. She was Miss Georgia Farm Bureau. She always lets people know that.
Cool. That's awesome.
It runs deep a little bit. But when I had the opportunity to come out here, my family was saying, when you go out there, you need to really connect with locals and not try to change it, but just really connect with people. And so that was my main objective. I didn't know anybody when I got up here, but I was like, I want to meet people, and it's been a great experience so far.
Nice. So 3 years ago, you moved here. Like the first year, I think you got involved with our Farm Bureau group, at least coming up to some of our stuff. What year did you start ACE?
The first year I started was 2023. The first day I got here, it was negative 20 degrees. My family thought I was crazy. But I think I reached out to you that month too. And then you, buddy, Chef Houston Blevins, y'all went up to Nine Pipes up here in Ronan and just treated me like family right off the bat. And I was like, you know what? I want to be friends with these guys and get involved. And then, so I did a year of that, just traveling up. Shoot, we had so many events, from sheep events to I think Kalispell events and just all types of things. So I just really tried to get involved. And then I think in 2024 was when I did ACE, and that was a tremendous experience. Can't recommend that enough as well.
What was your involvement in 2024, you switched at some point from Northwest counties to Ravalli just because it's closer to home, and we need some people down there to kind of motivate the people that were already there. So what year did you switch back to Ravalli?
So I switched back in 2024. I had great, some of my best friends are honestly up here in Northwest counties, but I want us to grow the Bitterroot. I love the Bitterroot. I think, I want to settle down in Stevie or Corvallis. And for me, that group, we need to grow a little bit. And we've been working hard. We're trying to throw more events and getting people. We're kind of that weird place of Missoula is part of Northwest counties, but we have some people that come down south. And so for us, a lot of our members are still in Missoula, but we go down and try to kind of progress and get more involvement in Ravalli County.
Started your first motivator as far as creating the branding and bad decisions dance in Missoula? Because we've had quite a bit of fun with that. I'm fresh out of MSU YF&R for anybody needing context, but our chapter always comes up and we meet Ty and his people in Missoula, and we have quite a blast with that. So I'm just curious where that all started.
Yeah, so the brandings and bad decisions, that was kind of just random. We love having y'all come out to Missoula. And we love this bar called the Sunrise. It's a lot of young people, and I think it's pretty well known here in Western Montana. But I was like, you know what, if there's all these people that come in from, the Mission Valley down or the Bitterroot Valley come in, why aren't we trying to get more ag people involved? And I think swing dance is really part of the culture here. And so we want to connect with young people, and I think that's one way to do it, is to celebrate. And with the brandings, it's right as kind of the in branding season, and so what we want to do is just celebrate the people. And we actually started a new tradition this year with the
my card's full.
I got you.
Yep.
Okay. Buddy Chef built a bench, and it was really cool to see people bringing their own and just putting their brands on that bench. And we're kind of doing a Stanley Cup thing going on. I think it's with Cody Johannes right now, so hopefully he doesn't lose it, but we hope more people just put their brands on there and just continue traditions, part of the Farm Bureau. And I think the idea behind brands is so powerful, and it'd be cool to continue that tradition as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's super cool. It's a way to celebrate the heritage and then bring people together currently too. So.
Oh yeah, and you don't have to, we do it right in the Missoula Fairgrounds usually, so you don't have to necessarily come from an ag community. But there's so many people in Missoula I've met that they might not necessarily have an ag background, but they want to be involved. Mm-hmm. And that's the cool thing about it, is when you're kind of in that middle, we connect both Northwest counties, Ravalli County, and Missoula, and you get the last few years we've had a good little turnout, and want to continue to spread the word about the Farm Bureau and try to get more young people involved, because I think that's really the hard part about ag, from what I see, is from the statistics we see, is that I think the average rancher here in Montana is 60 years old, and only 40% want to move that down to their kids. So if we don't do something, then it'd be sad to see those traditions go away.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, that age gap is a big thing. Bridging that's huge. And then also just general consumer awareness, having this opportunity for some kids that are more involved in agriculture, less involved, to come together and kind of meet each other and hear each other's stories and be able to level with each other. That's a big gap in our society too, I would argue, just how some of our farmer and rancher members maybe don't do a super great job at outreach to non-ag communities, and then the same thing vice versa, knowing where your food comes from, knowing who grows it, how they grow it, all that stuff. So I think it's awesome. Super cool event.
I think one thing too, going back a little bit, is the collaboration you have with Grizzly Stomp at that. Because you're bringing in someone that's not really a Farm Bureau member, but exposing them to what it could be if you were a member. And I don't know if we've gained any new members from that, but at least they're exposed to it. I mean, there's been talks of a collegiate being started down there, just not a lot of ag classes being offered at Missoula, but I think that collaboration and just bringing people into the fold is a big part of it too.
Oh yeah, we've met so many incredible people from there that do have ag backgrounds, but they're not necessarily involved in ag anymore. Like Lily Schubert and a few of the other members. So it's been incredible to see just their participation, trying to start something up with the University of Montana, and just to hear a lot of those kids and where they come from all across the state is pretty incredible, and to partner with the university as well.
All right, moving away from the branding and bad decisions, even though it's been a successful event, like, tell us a little about your experience with ACE, your decision to start in ACE, and maybe a little bit about what project you chose at the end.
Yeah, so I joined ACE in 2024 and had a incredible time working with Sue Ann and Carly and all the members out in Bozeman. I think ACE has 6 different events spread throughout the year, and you're really going across the state. You're not really just in Bozeman, so you get to meet, real ranchers and farmers and people involved in the ag community across the state, and that's a really, really powerful thing. And I've met some tremendous people through it, and I think it's so powerful to really learn about, the operations of these family ranches and farms, and how can I be an advocate for that, and how can I contribute back to the community. And that's really why I wanted to join, was to kind of get out there and learn as much as I could and see if there was a way to give back. And what's cool about ACE is you're meeting people all across the state, and then they come together, and it's really like leaders within the Farm Bureau. So I cannot recommend ACE enough, and just the staff in Bozeman, they're incredible people, and have been honestly just really cool too. You get to go to the Capitol, you get to go to out to Billings and some of the bigger places you probably haven't been to, Whitefish, Missoula, and I think every year they change up the spots they go to, but it's really cool to meet the people there and learn their stories.
And like kind of the culminating event at the end would be like a project or an idea, what you want to continue on with. What did you choose?
Well, I chose just to start up the YFR for Ravalli County, and that included like really scheduling out and figuring out how do we increase activity and involvement and get more members involved. And so my idea was just to kind of, I'm just going to be honest with you, steal from Northwest counties the success you and Buddy have had, and what I've learned from a year of working with y'all is like, well, maybe we could do that down in the Bitterroot. And so kind of detailed out a plan of how we could execute to kind of bring that YFR involvement down to the Bitterroot or Ravalli County. And that was my project. So
nice.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen a lot of that work. I mean, you guys have done some events. You've asked us about some events. We're getting ready to have annual conference down here, which you guys will probably be heavily involved in. I know Northwest will be too. But I don't know, my ACE experience too, I mean, mine was kind of along the same lines. I wanted to do the podcast. Joe Lackman instead did the podcast because he was interning, I think, with Northern Egg Network at the time, and it just made more sense.
Yeah.
So mine was to come up with a book that was like, here's some easy events for you to do, because that's half the battle, is just coming up with something that people want to do. And I mean, Absolutely. That's the challenges we face. Like, we'll do an event, we'll think it's going to be awesome, and then nobody shows up, So it's like, well, what do they want to hear? What do they want? And my wife keeps telling me it's more prizes, so more door prizes is what she thinks we need to do. But, moving on a little bit past ACE, you've already told us you're not from Montana. You got heavily involved with the Farm Bureau, and was it last year you got voted on as Ravalli County's president? So what has that experience been like?
So I kind of just got voluntold, and but I tell you what, I have no regrets at all. I mean, to work with those people, Lacey Sutherland, Tyson Reese, Al Habel, and just so many incredible people I've met. Like Jay Myers, I found out that, him and his family came here before Montana was even a state, it was a territory. Mm-hmm. And to see what he's done down in Hamilton with the kids' farm fair, we did that this year again. And I don't know, it had to be like 1,000 little kids run around. But to hear this story of how many years he's been involved and how many lives he's touched, I'm like, man, I want to be like that. Like, that's incredible. And so hearing those stories, I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Any way I can volunteer and help, I want to be involved. And we have great membership down in Ravalli County, and we're trying to get more events going and to try to incorporate more young people in it so we can continue traditions.
So outside of YF&R, what else do you have planned for Ravalli counties in the future? Yeah,
so what we have coming up next few events, we have our annual meeting, but also we're trying to work with the Bitterroot Land Trust. We're actually going to do this on September 11th at Brand Broughton's Ranch. We're going to be partnering with the Bitterroot Land Trust as well as Wade Weber, who's a well-known ag accountant here in Western Montana, and we really want to start a series of ag conservation and how do we help people here in Western Montana or Montana in general to, how can we create estate planning for their families and future generations so that we keep Montana. So now I work at Merrill Lynch as a senior investment advisor, and we help, ranches and different individuals, kind of plan for the future. And so if we can help with that, that's going to be a great event on September 11th. And then on October, we have the Hamilton Fair coming up. And that's going to be a great opportunity for the Bitterroot Valley Farm Bureau, the Ravalli County Farm Bureau, to really show what we can do and just the products we have here in the valley. And so I think that'll be a great event. And then we also have the annual conference here in Missoula, so we're going to be sponsoring that and trying to be as involved as we can. So I'm looking forward to those 3 upcoming events and just trying to get more people involved.
Nice. It was always kind of Lacey's deal whenever we had it in Missoula to do the livestock judging. Has anyone talked about that coming into the annual conference?
That sounds pretty cool. What is that? Y'all bring
It takes a lot to put on, but
really?
Yeah, ask Lacey about that, see if she can get it put together for November.
Yeah, she always does a great, I think at the YFR conference, and was it January, she did her presentation on EPDs or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they used to turn into an FFA contest, livestock judging competition. They'd put pens in the hotel across from where we stay at now.
Oh, really?
And people would go judge and whatever.
Well, you're disqualified from doing the, what event did you win last year? It was the, what was it called? Discussion. The discussion meet.
Oh, yeah. I won a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So humble.
Yeah. No, but I think that'd be an awesome opportunity as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're really excited to have annual convention up in this little corner of the state this year, and we kind of try to make sure that those big events kind of hit all the different areas in Montana so that people can split the travel up. We're a pretty big state, obviously, but you guys have both participated in the discussion meet too, and I'm curious to see what your experience with that is like. Nick, obviously, you won a pretty big prize recently, so if you guys want to talk about that a little bit, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think we just kind of threw Ty to the wolves. He didn't know anything about it, but we needed someone else to do it. So it was like, hey, you're in it.
Vaughn's all good. Yeah, it was rigged. No, I'm joking. No, Nick, I mean, it was really impressive seeing Nick and a lot of the other contestants. I was like, man, I kind of want to do this again next year. So I need to practice a little bit more. And my cousin, his wife back in Georgia, they actually, I think, won a tractor at theirs. So I was like, I got to step up my game a little bit.
Yeah.
So be a lot more involved in figuring out the issues, because I think it is important to really, those meetings, you're talking with people, you're learning the issues, and definitely want to try to win this year, or obviously learn the issues and get more involved too.
And I think it'll air after, it'll happen before this podcast airs, but we're having our wife and our meeting, and a big part of that is going to be discussing that and getting a few of the past winners to come up and talk about what it takes, how they studied, that kind of stuff. I mean, the questions are posted right now, you can find them. But I think that it's a lot of preparation, and I think that's kind of part of your reward is like the person that prepares and knows a lot about that kind of stuff is going to be able to talk it. It is luck of the draw. I mean, the one year we got the question about irrigation, and I think it was it Glenn?
Yeah.
She comes from like a dryland farm, like that whole area is dryland, so she's like, irrigation, what,
Yeah.
So like water in her area is not as big a deal, but that one was kind of funny just because luck of the draw. It threw like 2 of the competitors out right away. So
I could tell you were really prepared. Like your answers, and it was really professional, and it showed why you won. And who else was in our group?
I can't remember.
Tiana, I think it was Tiana.
Yeah.
Tiana was.
She was really good too. I think she came in second, but.
Yeah, you had 2 people that made the Final Four last year.
That was a tough competition.
Yeah.
But no, y'all both were just so well prepared, and it's really impressive to see y'all up there on the final stage. So,
and hopefully coming up on the next wife in our meeting, we'll be able to share some of that experience and pass that on to somebody
Absolutely.
too.
For sure.
So kind of moving away from the discussion meet to the questions that I've been trying to remember to ask is there anyone that you look up to or is kind of giving you guidance throughout your Farm Bureau or agriculture background? Like, is there someone that you're looking up to, and how have they helped you?
Oh, definitely. Like, that's the easiest question ever. I'd try to say you and Buddy Chef and just the Northwest County guys, and honestly, Lacey Sutherland, she's been incredible. Like, I think out here in western Montana, you got some pretty amazing people. And obviously, you got Glacier, you got the Clark Fork River, you got the Bitterroot Mountains and the Mission Mountains, but you wait till you meet the people, and that's really why I moved here. And to be able to learn from you and Buddy these last few years has been incredible. So I hope I can just help some more people down the Bitterroot Valley. So, yeah.
We appreciate you saying that. I might have to get out of this room if my head gets any bigger. So, the last question I always ask, and I think anybody in agriculture has to have it, but kind of an entrepreneurial spirit. Like, you went out on your own at Merrill Lynch, and I think even branched out once, moved to Bozeman to get some more experience, then come back. Like, what drives you to stay in Farm Bureau with a different career? It's been kind of cool to see you bring the experience in your everyday life into some of the events you're planning. But, like, what drives you to continue to do that or want to help people plan better? Or what drives you is the question.
I would say, honestly, like, I love this place. Like, this is, I'm not from here, never will be able to say I am, but I truly love it here. And I love the people here. And so I really just want to be as involved as possible. And, obviously I don't have cows yet, but I'm trying to work with Primrose Farms shout out of Missoula. But they have an amazing family and just the salt of the earth type of people. And, I have plans to get into ag, but, some of us that don't necessarily come from, fifth generation ranches, you kind of got to, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do it yourself. Mm-hmm. And you got to work hard and be smart. But, I say this way of life, sure beats the alternative. And so that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, that's pretty fitting. And, I mean, shout out to, is it Primrose Farms?
Yeah.
Their first Farm Bureau event was YFNR this year.
Yeah,
this winter
it
in
was.
Missoula, and that's where Ty met him. And so that is kind of a cool story to
so
bring
John,
it full circle.
Yeah, John,
we should interview them.
We should, yeah. But, John, if you're listening, I got a bunch of cold beers with your name on it waiting for you. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we have, unless you guys had any more last-minute questions or something that comes up or anything you wanted to leave us with.
No, go Grizz, FTC.
I'm editing that out.